Alright guys, welcome to another video, and I'm super excited about this one because this video is going to be about showing you guys everything that I've been up to over the past few months. You might already know that I was busy trying to set up this performance shop, but now the shop is pretty much close to complete. In fact, it's at the point where I've already started taking in customer cars. And yeah, this video is going to be about showing you guys the shop, everything inside it, and most importantly, what you guys are going to see happen over here over the next few weeks. And so this is the place. It's called XF Motorsports. It stands for Extreme Fabrication Motorsports, and I guess when you look inside it, you'll be able to make more sense why I chose this name and why I think it's appropriate for the business. But anyways, this is the unit. And the front is actually pretty empty right now because I've only had this place for the last 21 days. When I moved in here, it was actually a completely empty unit. But I am planning to add a front desk, and there's going to be a company logo over here. And I do have a plan for all that, which I'll show you in a bit. But anyways, starting off with the most important part, and the place that I have been busy with setting up, it's this whole back part that, well, is the place where all the work is going to happen. And well, before I get into showing you guys all these machines and everything, I just want to start off by showing you guys the unit. So it's a 3,100 square feet unit, 22 feet high ceilings, a big 14 feet door at the back. So it's a nice big space for setting up a shop, and it was also a really clean unit. That's why I chose this one, because most industrial units, when you look at them, you mostly find them with cracked concrete floors, oil stains all over them, and the walls are all dirty and everything. This unit was actually a really nice clean unit. Everything was nicely done, all the electrical work. The floor was pretty clean, all the walls were actually painted. That's why I really like this unit. And it's also a decent sized space for setting up a shop like this. It has enough space to well, fit in all this equipment. But when I found this unit 20 days ago, well, when I moved in here 20 days ago, it was all a completely empty unit. There was nothing in here, none of these machines were in here and everything. And I had to basically set up all this, and that's why it was, well, in the middle of all this COVID-19 pandemic, when half the things weren't even open, it was a really big challenge setting up all this. So getting into showing you guys all the equipment that we have installed in here so far, well, starting off by showing you guys the alignment machine, because this was the first piece of equipment that we installed, and we decided to go with the used alignment machine because I thought it was better to save money where we could and spend more money where it was more needed. So nonetheless, this is a really good alignment machine. It's a Hunter DSP 400, and it's actually a 2005 model, but believe it or not, since 2005, alignment technology hasn't really changed. It's this system actually has 4 cameras that look at these targets, and when you put these targets on, you first do a rolling compensation where you roll the car forwards and backwards. So it doesn't matter if the targets are not that accurately mounted on the wheels, because the rolling compensation, basically what it does is the cameras look at how the targets are moving on the wheel. That's what it uses to basically compensate for any inaccuracy in how the targets would be mounted on the wheels. So it gives you really accurate results. It's much more accurate than the older non-3D ways of alignment, and it covers all the basic angles like camber, cross camber, caster, SAI, which is steering angle inclination, toe, basically everything that you would need. Newer alignment machines, they do have newer features like lane departure warning, calibration, and all that stuff that newer cars have. But of course, in terms of all the basic angles for setting up for race cars and everything, this machine is more than appropriate. It covers everything that you would want an alignment machine to have, so it made a lot of sense going with this machine. And if you noticed on the screen carefully, it is already set up for CL55, which is that car over there. So I'm going to be doing an alignment on that car really soon using this machine. And well, actually, when I do an alignment, I'll make a proper video just on this alignment machine, talking about all the features, how to do an alignment on it. And because, well, this car, the owner actually took it for an alignment, not for an alignment, sorry, for changing the lower control arms on it, and the mechanic that changed it didn't do an alignment afterwards. So now when he drives the car goes all over the place on the highway, so it definitely needs an alignment. And we're also showing you guys all the other equipment. A 2-post lift, which, well, there's not much to talk about a 2-post lift, but it's just a normal 2-post lift, but it's definitely going to come in really handy for the shop, because for installing suspensions, for doing all the mechanical work, removing exhausts, removing entire engines, a 2-post lift is going to make that a lot easier. And we are going to be doing a lot of suspension work in here. I'm actually going to have corner balancing scales coming in here really soon, car wing scales. So they're going to be helpful in installing coilovers. All the engine work, actually, 2-post lift is going to be really easy for that, removing engines, moving them into an engine room that I'm planning to build right behind that engine jack over there, so that engines can be taken in a dust-free environment, rebuilt over there. And also what's going to be coming up really soon is a dyno. Right where that E55 ASL is standing, I'm planning to have a hub dyno, one of those dynos that you remove the wheels and you attach the dyno over there, and then you can actually measure the power of your car. And they're actually more accurate than rolling dynos anyways, because there is no wheel spin on them, and you can actually get really accurate results. And it's also convenient because it doesn't take too much space in the shop, because once you're done with using them, you can actually place them aside. So a dyno is going to be a big addition to this shop, because not only are you modifying cars, then you're also tuning them, and you're also testing them to see how much power your car is actually making, or the mods you're doing to the car are actually making. So that's an extremely important addition to the shop. And also getting into some other things. Well, this engine jack, you might remember from the 55 ASL videos, it was used quite a lot on that car. And my MIG welder, this is also from previous videos. This is the welder I used for welding all that car, but it's also going to have a bigger brother coming in really soon, a TIG welder, because since now I'm going to be working on customer cars in here, it's better to have a TIG welder for welding exhausts and also for welding aluminum, because a MIG welder just works horrible for welding aluminum. And over here you might notice some tools and everything, which well, these are just some basic tools that I've got for the CNC machine right now, because, well, next getting into my favorite machine of all this, it's the CNC machine, and this is an amazing machine. I'll probably also make a completely separate video just for this machine really soon, because next week actually, Ron, the person who sold me this machine, Ron Nader, he's actually the manager over here for the company that actually makes these machines. He's going to be coming over here. I'm going to be doing a video with him on making custom rear wing mounts for that car, the 55 ASL, for mounting the rear wing. We're going to be cutting those on this CNC machine, and this is an extremely cool machine. Well, just talking about what the machine is, because most of you might not have heard about this machine, neither did I hear about it before I bought it. Max Cut, it's actually by a company here in Canada. It's called Mass Steel, the company. And I was actually planning to go with a Haas machine before, a Haas VF2, but believe it or not, it was actually a Haas dealer that told me about this company. And he told me to go look at what these guys are making before I make a decision. And sure enough, I went to see this machine, and it was almost better in every way in terms of specifications than the Haas machine that I was planning to buy. So that's why I was convinced on this machine like almost right away. Some of the amazing features that I found about it: the table size is massive. It has an 18 by 30 table. The travel is also 18 by 30. It's called the MCV 1830 because of that. And the Z-axis travel is 20 inches. And the coolest feature is these side doors actually open, and you can actually access the machine from the side. So both these side doors actually open, and you can put in massive pieces of aluminum in here, like 10-foot long pieces, or not aluminum, any material really that you want to cut. And this machine will be able to cut that. So that is amazing. Even pieces much bigger than the table size. Well, you'll have to move the pieces over a few times if they're bigger than the table size, but this machine is still going to be able to cut them. So it has a massive table, 10,000 RPM spindle, an accuracy of 0.002 millimeters. It is ridiculously precise, and the controller also is pretty amazing on it. I had never used this controller before, but I'm still getting used to using this controller. Actually, I still don't know how to use all the features and everything, but it is a pretty good controller, and the more I'm playing with it, obviously the more I'm learning and everything. It's conversational programming on this one, so you can actually change your G-code program right on the controller and make it do whatever you want to do, whatever modifications you want to make to your design. Or there's a lot to talk about on this machine, so I'm going to make an entire completely separate video on it next week and show you guys all the really cool features and everything on it. It's amazing. I don't want to turn the machine on right now, because then I'll get stuck into talking about this machine for like another hour, but holy crap, like I can't even wait to get my hands on this machine, really start making things on it and everything. The reason I got a CNC machine for this shop was because I thought it was a really important addition to be able to make your own part. Well, believe it or not, the most requests I used to get from people was to make custom parts for them. So like make manual transmission swap adapters, or like brake adapter kits, or pedal boxes, or different things that you would need for racing, but you can't really make them without a CNC machine. So with the CNC machine, this actually gives me a proper chance to make production level parts, extremely precise, in large quantities that I can actually supply to people, make my own line of parts, and also make parts for my own car for the E55 ASL, because of course having a CNC machine will take things to the next level. You can make much more precise parts. You can mill your own engine parts, even mill your own pistons, mill your own connecting rods, literally anything you put inside this machine that you can program to be cut on 3-axis, or well, even if it's not 3-axis, you can add a 4th and 5th axis to this machine, and yeah, it will basically make it happen. It's absolutely amazing. I'm still learning how to program it and getting used to it, but you guys are going to see a ton of content coming up on this machine really soon, and yeah, I definitely can't even wait to get my hands on this machine. So before I get too carried away with the CNC machine and talk about it for another day, I guess it's probably a better time to move on and show you guys the rest of the shop. This is just a washroom over here, probably not the most interesting thing to show you guys, but a bit more interesting than that would be to show you the office, my office. Holy crap, it's almost dark outside now. But anyways, yeah, this is the office. This is not the final setup for the office. I am planning to change the office desk. This was just the desk that I kept for now because I didn't have anything in here. This was a bit of a gift from the previous owner. He left a really old office chair that I would need to throw away, but this is my office chair, and I'm also planning to make a few more of these. This is actually my E55 chair that I converted into an office chair, and the cool thing about it is all the features on this chair actually work. It is heated, cooled, and it also reclines. All the motors and everything on it work. The massaging feature is the only feature that doesn't work on it, because for that I would have had to keep the pneumatic pump, and I didn't feel like connecting a pneumatic line. But it's a pretty cool chair. It's really comfortable, and it reminds me of my E55 every time I sit on it. But the more important thing to show you guys, this is a computer that I bought for this office. It's an Asus gaming PC, because this was the previous PC that I was using for my softwares and everything, but it got pretty slow afterwards for running softwares and everything. That's why I got this one. This is actually a gaming PC, and it has an amazing graphics card, so it works amazing for 3D softwares, for designing everything. I was actually working on this design right now. It's in the initial stages right now, actually. This is going to be the rear wing mounts that I'm designing for the E55 ASL. They're going to be looking quite a lot different than this when they're all done. I'm just starting on them, so this is just a rough drawing on them. But to show you guys some of the things that you can do with this software, I'm using Fusion 360. So some of the designs that I was playing with for G-code and everything, this was a connecting rod. And the amazing thing about the software Fusion 360 is that you can actually design something on it, then you can actually go to simulate, and you can actually simulate the whole thing on it, how this connecting rod would deal with different forces and how it will actually perform. And you can actually see what are the weak points on this connecting rod, where you need to add material, where you need to remove material, and how you basically need to modify the shape to make this more efficient for what it's being used for. And then in the same software, you can go to manufacture, and then you can generate all the G-code for it for your machine to cut. So you can actually, in the same software, design your part, simulate it, improve it, and then finally go on to machining the part and give this code to your CNC machine, and it's going to check out the same part that you designed on the computer. So this is going to be really important for me for, of course, designing parts, so I can actually make parts, not only engine parts, but all different types of parts. This was just a part that I was playing around with just to learn the process a little better, but there's quite a lot more of this that you're going to be seeing in future videos and everything. But also moving on to, actually, wait, this thing I didn't show you before. This was one of the test pieces that I cut on the CNC machine. This was also a piece that I designed in Fusion 360, this exact software. And I cut it using the CNC machine. This was just a sample demo piece so that I could measure the dimensions and find out how accurately the CNC machine was cutting. And sure enough, that machine is almost as accurate as it claims. There is a bit of tool deflection on this that I got because I was doing the finishing pass too quickly. So tool deflection is when you're moving the milling bit too quickly, and it actually deflects, it actually flexes a bit away from the material, which doesn't cause an as accurate of a cut as you might think. So but nonetheless, that can easily be dealt with by adding another finishing pass. Other than that, the cut was extremely accurate. I measured it with a micrometer, and sure enough, yeah, the machine is cutting perfect. It's not cutting ovals, it's cutting perfect circles, and it's all good. This was the floor plan of the shop, and well, you can see it's pretty much exactly as it was in the floor plan. Here's the milling machine, here's the alignment machine. The dyno that is not here right now, but it is going to be coming later. Some workbenches that I definitely need to add, and I am going to be adding later on. But before it gets too late, there is quite a lot more to show you guys upstairs, because if you thought this was everything for the shop, there's also a second floor to it. And we're going to the second floor right now. I haven't done too much on the second floor, but I do plan to do quite a lot more over here. This is the second floor. I have an air compressor over here that is going to supply the entire shop with air. This air line, by the way, is not a permanent air line. It's just going through the CNC machine right now because I didn't have time to do all the air lines properly. But the air lines are also going to be done properly, just like all the electrical lines are done. They're all going to be mounted to the wall. There's going to be outlets on every pit, 3 outlets on that wall, 3 outlets on this wall, so that there's going to be air on every part of the shop. It is an IR air compressor. It's a 60-gallon tank with a 3-phase air compressor, so it's pretty big. It's easily big enough for this whole shop. And well, also there's a bit of scrap over here that I need to throw away. It's with moving so much stuff that you do end up with a lot of these crates and stuff. And yeah, I'll throw them away really soon after everything is done. But another piece that you might recognize that you were actually supposed to see in a video way before this one, it's the fenders for the 55 ASL. So I was working on them before I got busy with this whole shop and everything, and I never got too much time to finishing these, but you will see more progress on these really soon. I will be finishing the fenders, putting them on the car, also making rear fenders, making the rear wing mount, and basically, yeah, completing this car up, because now it is time when the tracks are reopening, and it's going to be time to head back on the track with that car, and yeah, also start work on that car again, just like previous videos. But now I'm going to have a whole shop to do it, so hopefully you guys are going to see much better progress on that car, much better quality parts going on that car. And also another really cool thing that I can't even wait to put on that car, the wrap is finally here, the wraps that I was planning to put on that car. So this is going to be the final color of the 55 ASL. This is the primary color. It's silver, the Mercedes silver, just like my E55. It's a silver metallic. It's almost the same silver metallic that the 55 had, and this is the secondary color on it. So basically, in the design, all the parts that you see gray, they're going to be wrapped in this color. All the parts that you see silver, they're going to be wrapped in this color. And all the parts that you see black, they're just going to be carbon fiber, because carbon fiber looks black from a distance anyways. So the car is going to look super cool. It's going to look exactly like the design once it's done. And right now it looks a little funny just because it's missing so much of the bodywork and everything. But once it's done, it's going to be an amazing looking car. And I can't even wait to finish on it. We're also talking about some of the other machines that I'm planning to add up here. So some other machines that I do want to add up here on this section is that I want to add a CNC tube bender. So it's a CNC tube bender is basically a machine. You put 20-foot long tubes in there, and you program basically, if you have a tube steel design like that one on that car, the E55 ASL, or if you have a roll cage or any tube steel structure that you want to make, you can put on that CNC machine, and it's going to bend tubes exactly the same way they're supposed to be bent. It gives you really accurate results, and that machine is going to come in really handy for making roll cages, for making custom tube steel chassis, for making even exhaust work, because exhaust tubes, believe it or not, can be made on the same machine. You just put a thinner gauge tube on the same machine, it bends it exactly the same way. And the benefit of that machine is going to be, rather than projects like that taking a year and a half to finish, you can literally make a car like that in a month. I will be making a lot more content for you guys, but I am also focusing on bringing in customer cars, customer projects, and actually one customer that I'm looking for, one really specific thing that I'm looking for is someone to bring in a car for a 350Z manual swap like I did on that car, because there were quite a few people that wanted me to make a 350Z manual swap adapter for the M113K transmission, but I had already done my swap by then, by the time people started asking for it. So I didn't want to take the whole engine apart, remeasure everything, and design it in the CAD software, because I never really designed that one in the CAD software. I just made it by hand. But now, if anyone wants to do it, you can bring your car in. I can. The only thing I can offer is really free labor. I can do all the labor for free, but you will need to pay for the parts. You'll need to pay for a clutch, a 350Z transmission, and some material for milling on the CNC machine. Some other projects that are also going to be coming in really soon, some other cars that I know that are going to be coming in. One person wants to bring in a CLK 55, which is a naturally aspirated 5.5 liter V8, but he wants to add a supercharger to it. So that's a project that I'm going to be working on really soon. It's that car, the CL, that needs a few upgrades. It needs custom headers that I'm going to be making for it. And later on, once I get the dyno, I'm also going to be doing a tune on it and putting it on the dyno, seeing how much power it makes. Of course, the E55 ASL, there's you probably already know all the stuff that is coming for that car. Upgrading the clutch on it, putting it back on the dyno, running it on full boost, seeing how much power it actually makes on full boost, because right now I only tested it up to like 9 psi of boost, and still it made quite a lot of power. So yeah, this is going to be everything for this video. It was a lot of work setting up the shop, even though now that you look at everything complete, or not complete, but close to complete, it seems like it was simple enough just putting this machine here and putting that machine here. But when you actually start from scratch and there's nothing there and half the stuff is closed, it's really difficult setting up all this. That's why it took such a long time and it took so much effort. But now that it's complete, it's really just the beginning right now too, because right now is the point where I have to go out there, find new cool projects to actually work on, design parts that I can actually sell on this machine, and really make the whole thing financially viable. So that in itself is a whole different project. But I am putting in the effort, and I will almost definitely make it work, even though the conditions are pretty difficult right now with the whole COVID-19 pandemic and everything. But of course, things will get better soon enough anyways. So yeah, anyways, this is everything for now. I could probably talk about this business for hours, but I'm pretty sure all you guys are going to be well asleep by then. So if you guys want to see all the information on this business, I will link the website down below. It's called xfmotorsports.com. And actually, if you guys want to reach out to me with your cool projects or any requests or any cars that you want to bring in, I am open for business. I'm over here every day from 11 to 7 p.m. actually. You guys can also come visit in, check out the cars, check out the 55 ASL, check out the shop. I'm happy to show anyone the shop really. Now that I have a proper location, you guys can definitely come in if you want to come see the shop. If you want to email me about booking an appointment or anything, the email is info@xfmotorsports.com. Yeah, that's going to be everything for this video. I'm going to have a lot of stuff coming up for you guys really soon, and it's going to be really crazy. Everything that you guys saw last year, just times that by 10. That's going to be what this year is going to be about. Crazier projects, precision cut parts, production parts, everything really. So I can't even wait to get started on all that. This is going to be everything for now. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys really soon.